Hey y'all, in this video I'm sharing 5 apps or services you must use if you're trying to raise money for your nonprofit. Let's get into it. Hey y'all, this is Tiffany with Boss on a Budget. I help new and small nonprofits get up and running. So make sure you subscribe to my channel because I'm dropping videos every week and I help you navigate the startup process and also raise money for your new nonprofits. All right. I'm very passionate about helping small and new nonprofits. So I want to make sure y'all soak up all the goodness, all the information that you need in order to launch successfully. So in this video, I'm sharing 5 services or apps you should be using or types of apps you should be using when you're trying to raise money. So for me, if you're going to raise money, these 5 things you need at a minimum. Okay. And most of these, if not all, can be free. So I don't want you to be intimidated by saying, Tiffany, it's a service. We don't have a lot of money. That's why we're trying to raise money. Calm down. Most of these are going to be free, and I'll share a couple of examples as I go through. Number 1 is a fundraising platform. Sometimes I refer to it as a donation platform. You need a way to collect money, and you need a way to collect it in an organized way and in a professional way. I actually did a video that I'm linking above where I walk through the basic steps to get started with accepting money. And I talk about in that video a donation platform, and I go a little bit more in depth, so you can watch that video. But you need a way to accept money that's not Cash App. If you know me, you know I do not like it when nonprofits use Cash App. It just puts you in a really bad position. Okay, so you need another way to collect money that you can maximize the use of the service, so you can get reports about who is giving you money. You can collect contact information. It makes it easier on you and not harder on you. So on the front end, it seems like things like Cash App is easy and it's quick, but it actually is not easy and quick on the back end for you. So you got to think about like all the way through. So you need to pick a donation platform that was made for nonprofits. There are a lot of ways to collect money now. There are a lot of free ways that people try to use to get away with collecting money. But you need to use a service that has you as a nonprofit in mind, because there are certain considerations you need to think about. Because there are donation platforms where they will automatically send out a tax receipt or a donation receipt for you. Cash App is not going to do that, or another service that wasn't made with nonprofits in mind isn't going to do that for you. And it makes it harder for you to figure out how to get that done, so you're not wasting a lot of time. So that's just one example. And so if you need examples of donation platforms, a good basic one is Give Lively. It is free. You just pay for the transaction fee once somebody donates, and you can ask your donors to cover that transaction fee. So it doesn't require any money to get started. You can also use a service like Give Butter or GiveBox. These services don't require upfront money. So there's no reason, honestly, there's no excuse that you shouldn't be using a service like this that gives you the capability to design your web pages, design like your buttons that people click, to help you, customize the information that you get when people donate. You should be using a donation platform. Number 2 is a website domain. So this one is not necessarily free, but it's low cost. So some people may argue with me and say that you don't need a website to raise money. No, you don't have to have a website to raise money. Let me just be clear about that. But I recommend that you do. Because when you're a new nonprofit, nobody knows you, and you're extending the offer for someone to give up of their money to give to you, then their decision making around whether they should do it is going to require some research. It's going to require building some trust. And part of building that trust is they want to be assured that you're legit. And one of the ways you can establish your legitimacy is by having an online presence, particularly with your own website. And with your own website, you can control the type of information that you put out there. You can present yourself as professionally as you can. You can share impact, and you can share information about the work that you've done. Social media is good as well to have like an online presence, but a website, you have control over what people see and how they see it. You don't have that control. Social media, it's just a roll of the dice whether or not somebody actually is able to find you, It's a roll of the dice whether they see all of the posts that you put out, but at least with your website, you can control how people navigate and how they see your content. So no, you don't absolutely need a website, but I do recommend that you have one, especially when it comes to grant funders as well. You may not realize it, but they do check you out too. They will look for you. And if there's not a lot of information out about your organization, it doesn't inspire a lot of confidence that you are a real organization, that you're going to use their money responsibly. So make sure you purchase your website domain. And a domain is just your address on the internet. And then you're also going to need a service to help you design your website. When you're starting out in the beginning, you don't have to go super fancy and get a designer. You can use a service like Squarespace or Wix to give you a basic website. And sometimes where you buy your domain can also give you a website builder. This is not a video about website builders. I might do another one on that because I have opinions on that. But the point is, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money and you can do it yourself. Number 3 type of app or service you need is a design app. When you are strapped for money, but you need to present yourself in a professional way, one of the best ways to do that is through your graphic design or through like your graphic materials. A service called Canva, I've talked about it a lot on different videos, is the perfect service for people who can't afford a designer but still want to present a certain way. So if you need to design business cards, if you need to design t-shirts, if you need to design letterhead, if you need to design flyers or social media posts, you can do all of that through Canva. And the great thing about Canva is that they have templates and it's really easy to use. You can switch out fonts, you can switch out colors and make it your own. Just be a little careful because when something is free, that means everybody else is using it and you want to distinguish yourself, because I can easily go on social media and say, oh yeah, that's the Canva template. I've seen that somewhere else before. So you want to try to mix it up a little bit. But if you can't afford to hire an actual designer to help you with those pieces, it's the perfect solution for you. So make sure you check out different design apps like Canva. I use other design apps other than Canva too. I use a service called PicMonkey, and there are other services you can use for your phone and stuff like that. Just play around with them and see what works. But the point is, a lot of that stuff is free and you absolutely need to be using it to design your social media posts, to design letters or documents that you're sending out, all of that kind of stuff, to design brochures and one-pagers. You can do all of that with a design app. So make sure you have that in your toolbox. Number 4 is an email marketing service. So if you're going to be asking people for money, then you need a way to communicate with them, because you want to make sure that they understand what your organization does, what you're about, and they want to understand what their money is doing. Where is their money going? And one great way you can do that is by sharing information through email. And using an email marketing service makes it easier for you because you can do mass emails or mass marketing at one time without having to sit at your computer all day long. So when you're using an email marketing service, you can send one email out to thousands of people at the same time. But the great thing about those services is that they're tracking that information. They're using data. You can use their analytics to see who opens your emails, when do they open your emails, what subject lines work versus others, right? You can collect great data to help you design what you're going to do and what you're going to talk about moving forward. And email marketing systems are great because they help you automate things as well. One of my favorite automations to do is when someone gives to your organization is to send them a series of emails to warm them up to your organization. So you're absolutely going to do like a special thank you when people give, but you also want to share a follow-up email maybe the next day and say, thank you so much for joining our family, or however you describe your organization. You just invested in this and we want to show you how and what that's going to look like, right? We want to show you the impact that you're making. You don't have to use those words, but I hope you get the idea that you're trying to convince people that it's a good idea to support your organization and to keep supporting your organization because you want them to come back. And I just want to add that there are a couple of email marketing services that you can use for free starting out. And once you get to a certain level or a certain number of subscribers, you have to start paying. But they're good basic level, starter level services you can use to get your feet wet. So MailChimp is one of those, and also MailerLite. you want to think about, they may not be as robust for what you need when you start growing and getting more sophisticated, but they're absolutely great to start out with. And the last type of app or service is social media. I was not going to get off this video without talking about social media. People love it and hate it for all the same reasons, right? You can get so much visibility, but the potential of social media adds so much pressure on folks. And I find that people get intimidated because there's this pressure to have to show up or to have to share in ways you may not feel comfortable sharing or you're just not used to. But I do want to remind you that social media is free. And so you should be leveraging whatever social media network makes sense for the people you're trying to reach. If you're trying to reach a certain audience, figure out where that audience is and make sure you have a presence on that social media platform. And my really quick tip about this is that you don't want to just use your social media pages to broadcast. That's not the point. The point of social media is to start a conversation. The point of social media is to encourage connection. So when you're posting, your desire or your goal should not be just to share information, to tell people when you're having an event or to ask people to sign up. It should be about encouraging conversation, getting people riled up, getting people talking about an issue, getting people to share and connect with each other and connect with your organization. And I just want to remind you again, social media is free. If you want to get in front of more people, of course, you got to pay for advertising, but you can still get a lot of traction using social media. Okay, y'all, from this list, which one was your favorite? Drop it in the comments below. What's your favorite app or service that you use? Share below and I might go deeper on that app if I find out that y'all like one in particular, okay? Thank you so much for watching my videos and supporting my channel. If you need more help, make sure you go to www.bossonabudget.com and I will see you in the next video.